Hi, it's Anna Mason, and in this video I'm going to show you how I used watercolor to paint the 3D form to this vibrant tulip flower. When you're looking to achieve 3D shape or form, it's all about capturing how light falls on your subject. And that's one of the reasons I really like painting from photos, because the camera has captured all that information for you. In the case of this flower, we can see from the photo that all of the darkest parts are on the left side of the flower. So it's important to capture that with your paint. I began by using a watery mix to paint a light version of all the different colours that I could see within the flower. Far from being simply a red tulip, when I really looked it included pinks, purples and of course the lighter reds to the right and the darker reds in the shadow on the left. I then did exactly the same to the stem and leaves, using very watery pale paint to map out what different greens should go where. The first layer on the flower had now dried off, and I went straight in with the darkest tones in the flower, the dark reds in the shadow on the left side. I added some of my brown and a blue-grey to the red mix to create a dark, rich red, which was a match to that area in shadow. And I applied the mix just to the areas that were that dark, using a fine brush to pick out the specific shapes of darker colour. Then I worked on the next darkest colours, leaving out the blue-grey from the mix and adding in some more of a brighter red from my palette to lighten the colour and make it a bit brighter. Next, I turned my attention to the lighter mid-tones. I used the brighter red and I added some opera rose, a really bright pink, to add some extra vibrancy to the colour. I watered the mix down as well so that it was lighter in tone, and I applied it with plenty of little lines with the brush so as to achieve the visual texture to the petal. Making sure that that layer was dry, I applied a second layer to all the mid-tone areas that still needed darkening, but with this brighter colour. And I darkened up the pink and the purple areas a little too. Next, I needed to darken the lightest tones which I'd left, but which were now standing out too much. To work on the ones in shadow on the left side, I created a watery pale mix that was a brownish red colour with a tiny hint of the blue-grey, and I applied it gently as a glaze so as not to disturb the colours underneath. To darken the lightest tones in the brighter right side of the flower, I applied a brighter pink version of the mix that was still just as pale. Next, I worked on the stem and leaves, again working on the darkest tones, mostly found on the left side, before working on the mid-tones and the lightest tones again. Once the whole flower was painted, I needed to step back and assess the painting as a whole, really focusing on the left-hand side and making sure that it was as dark as it needed to be in order to achieve the perfect balance for 3D effects. I darkened the darkest parts of the flower some more, then had to balance it by darkening the mid-tones a little too, as well as the lighter tones like the white part of the flower too, before darkening just a touch to the stem and leaves so as to bring them back in balance as well. A full video class of this tulip is available now in my online school. If you've enjoyed this video, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and share it with your arty friends. And if you'd like to take one of my full video classes for free, hop on over to annamasonart.com, where you'll find even more resources to help you pick up your brush and paint the way you've always wanted to. Remember, you won't improve your painting unless you make the time to paint. So be sure to schedule in some me time this week and paint something that you love. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you soon with another video helping you create watercolours with wow. Got a twitchy eye.
I can see it from here.
Can you?
No.
God.
I've been pulsing.
You can really feel it when it's happening, can't you? It feels like...